It's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4.
Here we go, Roger.
And on Insights, two eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
Well, if I could speak as fast as that countdown went 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. I said, boy, even the countdown I got tired by the time this year ended. Boy, this is a hell of a year. This is Mickey Clayton, the coach. And with you, always, my ace Boone Coon. I will let him, since I can't never say it right, I'll let him do it.
Nah, man, I love the way you do it. It cracks me up every time. It's your favorite reporter's favorite reporter. You know who I am. Is Ricky B. In the place to be, not in D.C. or Tallahassee, but it's all right because I'm here with you. What's up, my brother?
Woo, woo. He rapping in time with one line after another. The Noble Nine. That doggone Rick Brown is something else, boy. Woo! That was all right. Ricky B today. Boy, he act like he's shooting jump shots again.
Oh, shoot. Clank, 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 clank. Sup?
See, that's what you said. If I had said that, you'd have got mad at me. You'd have got mad at me.
Probably, but it would have been true. I mean, hey, the truth hurts. Truth hurts.
You know one thing about us, we're gonna keep it real, we're gonna keep it straight, no chaser, all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Rick, we always close every message, and we talked a little bit last week about COVID-19 and that whole situation and bowl games getting canceled, NFL, NBA. I mean, the NFL's they're gonna play theirs if you got to go out there and get Baldwin Wallace or Stanford State to put them in a Redskin or Browns uniform as long as they can play the game. They're not gonna forfeit that money. They're gonna finish that season. You know, from a guy who bought the Cavalier tickets in Atlanta. You know, it's so funny. They always take your money when you make a purchase, but they take 4 to 6 weeks
to give it back.
Oh yeah, you know.
Yeah, it is a shame though, Coach. I mean, well, I mean, I understand. I mean, billions of dollars, but where's the safety? Where's the concern? It really doesn't seem like there is any, especially in the NFL part. But we've talked about the NFL and their shenanigans for years, not just this year, but previous years. How they cut up. So it doesn't surprise me, and I know it doesn't surprise you either.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And see, the negative on it is they've already decided that, you know, they're going to have more money for the NBA, for the NFL players next year based on the profits they're making this year. So they'll be able to you know, get that cap up substantially. That's going to allow some more people to get paid. Now, it will allow the superstars to get paid, but those guys in the trenches, you know, it's not going to do a whole lot for them, I don't think.
Well, the one thing it will do probably be, since they're going to be asinine and continue this path, is going to allow for more practice squad players and more the reserve players because of COVID, and have the little taxi squad to the side just ready to pick. Hey, Rick Brown, you got a snap left? Can you you know, and give whoever $400,000 for a few weeks. Thank you very much for your service. On to the next week.
Is it worth it, Rick?
As a sports fan, yes. As a humanitarian, we'll see. We don't know the long-term effects of this junk. I hope it is. There's a lot of people a whole lot smarter than I am. So I'm praying that these effects aren't too detrimental long term, but we'll see, Coach. I don't. It's hard for me to. It's hard for me to believe it right now, but I've
Mhm.
been wrong before, so I hope I am this time.
It's kind of hard to, you know, I'm split on it so many different ways for these guys to be able to make some of the money that they can potentially make. That if they don't make it now,
Mm.
they might not ever make it. You know, that's the thing about it. Now, talking about games, you know, one of the most anticipated football games last year was Jackson State at FAMU. Game down in Miami, Orange
Mm.
Blossom Classic. They've already decided they're gonna play that game again next year on a Sunday again. It's gonna be a heck of a game again. Again, it's gonna be a heck of a game. But announced today will be the fact that they will also have University of Miami will host Bethune-Cookman that Saturday before we play Jackson State on Sunday.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. You know, Coach, John Thompson and the Hoyas came down to Lakeland in the '90s, and they played a couple of games and against Saint Leo. And I remember someone asked Coach Thompson, the big Coach Thompson, not little, not JT3, but asked Coach Thompson, why are you playing St. Leo's and Bethune Cookmans and all of them? And John Thompson said, you know, how can we give to the NAACP on Fridays and not play their teams on Saturdays?
Mm.
I mean, it would be hypocritical to do that. And they are Division One. Talking about Bethune Cookman,
Mm-hmm.
they had a player from this area, so I think Horace Broadax was on the team, still on the team. So no, Horace wasn't on the team then, but there was someone from the area, and he always used to try to get to around the area where his players were, and so that's why they played St. Leo. But his answer just kind of it struck me because I was like, at first I was like, oh, these are just money games just to get. But then when he said that, I said, you know, that makes sense. And ever since then, I've been like, hey, go for it. That's cool with me.
And I love that opinion, but let's not get confused. That game at University of Miami is strictly a money game. And the University of Miami is smart enough to take advantage of the fact that Jackson State and Florida A&M are going to be there. They're already promoting the fact that 3 of the top HBCU bands in the country will be in Miami that weekend.
Who's your third? Who's your third band?
Jackson State's.
Oh, I thought there were two. Sorry, Cook. My
See,
bad.
there you go. There you go. There you go.
Oh, joking. I love their boom, 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 boom. Wildcats. It's catchy. I like it. I always have.
Now you know that stuff. When they do that stuff, I know our guest got an opinion on it, but when they do that stuff down there, that stuff sound kind of bad. Now, Cookman had a little clip, and I used to like to hear Edward Waters go, EWC, 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 and all that. I said, wow, boy, you know, everybody kind of had one. But we have a special guest here with us today. But one of the things we want to do in our Recruiting the Legend segment, this gentleman, if we had really planned it, we would have really changed our Recruiting the Legend segment. But there's a section here from a guy that our coach McGriff, I'm sure he knows all about.
The world's fastest human. But back on FAMU's campus and back in Jacksonville where he's from, he's simply known as Crow. Bob Hayes is on football scholarship at FAMU. Said he never lost a 100-yard or 100-meter race in college. Only person that won a gold medal in the Olympics and a Super Bowl ring. He's known for capturing the gold medal in the 100-meter race, tying the world record at 10.06 seconds in the process. He ran the anchor leg for the U.S. 4x100-meter team, coming from behind to win a gold medal and setting a new world record. His relay leg was reportedly timed at between 8.5 and 8.9 seconds, which would be the fastest in history. After the Olympics, he retired as a track athlete. He told a reporter, "I reached my highest goal as an amateur, and I figure it's time to give some other guy a chance." You remember him being with the Dallas Cowboys back in the days when everybody loved the Cowboys? He was a 7th-round pick in the 1964 draft. He made an immediate impact, leading the NFL in TD receptions in each of his first 2 seasons. Also went into the NFL Hall of Fame. But there's a lot of things that you didn't know about Bob Hayes, probably. Back in the day, you didn't play varsity. You played on the freshman team before you ever played varsity. When Hayes was a freshman at FAMU, before he played one snap, he was wrongfully arrested. One of his teammates robbed a FAMU student, and Hayes was falsely accused and thrown in jail. He told his freshman coach and his dad that he didn't do it. He gathered information, talked to some other players, and went to try to help. But what he found out was that he had been pressured into signing a false confession while in police custody. He said he signed because he thought admitting his guilt would get him out of jail. How often do we hear stories like that? Spent a week behind bars. Jake hired a lawyer out of his own pocket. There was no way to take back the confession, but when he went to court, Gaither pleaded with the judge for leniency. He said, "If you give me this boy for 4 years, I guarantee you he won't get in trouble and he'll make you proud." Instead, he got 10 years probation. Coach Gaither wasn't going to even let Bob Hayes run in the Olympics. It took a phone call from the President of the United States to convince him to allow Bob Hayes to even run track for the United States, because he said it would hurt his football training. Said he was a football player first. He just ran track. When he came back from the Olympics, after winning the gold in the 4x100 relay, when he got back to town, he found out that some of his teammates wasn't quite feeling him. They didn't appreciate him dominating the spotlight. Coach Gaither told him, "You guys should be proud to have Bob as a member of this team. I heard some of you call him Hollywood because he gets so much exposure. If you guys are jealous of Bob Hayes, I know how every one of you can get as much publicity as he does." And everybody wondered, how? What do we need to do? They said, outrun him. After Bob Hayes returned from the Olympics, Coach Gaither asked Florida Governor Hayden Burns to pardon, and he did. The stories and accolades could go on and on and on about Coach Hayes. The accolades could go on and on and on about Bullet Bob Hayes, or Crow, and his relationship, very special one, with Coach Gaither. At his funeral, Bob Hayes was one of the hundreds of us who were at the funeral. He made the comment, "He was my friend, my coach, my mentor, and most of all, he was my father." For all of the things that Bob Hayes has done in terms of running, instead of leaving his name on the track in Jacksonville with the Bob Hayes Track Meet Invitational, the world's fastest human, and the accolades and what he did at the Olympics, then with the Dallas Cowboys, all of these things make Crow a legend.
Yeah.
Hard to argue those accolades from that guy.
And even though he went to that, he played with that NFL squad. I forgive him for that. but what Coach Hayes said, Coach Gaither said, was very intriguing and right on point. He was a football player first and a track star. You see a lot of the NFL teams later try to make track stars into football players because they had speed, but they didn't have that toughness. Bob Hayes had it all.
He's the reason they invented the zone defense and coverage, because they couldn't guard him man to man. You know, and Coach Hayes, I mean, imagine you wouldn't let him go to the Olympics, and it took the president of the United States to make a phone call for you to let him go.
Mm.
And and then the guy's jealous about it. And he said, well, if you got an issue with all the attention he get, you call him Hollywood, all you got to do is outrun him.
Negative.
That ended all that. But we have with us a special guy who knows all about track. He was a highly successful track coach at Florida High School. Then he got moved upstairs to be athletic director. Then he started doing social media. You know, this young man does a little bit of everything. One of the things I want to say about him is that, and I'm going to tell him, this is something that we just coined. He's actually what we call a legacy leader. And what a legacy leader is somebody who comes from a background with familiar leadership, that he's raised and brought up in a certain way to be an independent thinker, to be able to walk and talk on his own, and smart enough to be able to figure out how to connect the dots. He was an undersized defensive end. Around there, All-American at Florida A&M University. I'm on the sideline at University of Miami, and I like to tell him this story. When he got hit, he was almost killed. He tried to go back in the game. Billy Joe said, no, you take that boy dum helmet and put it on the bus, because he's going to try to go back in the game and run out there without me knowing it. So y'all put his helmet on the bus so he can't get back in the game. That's the heart that he played with. Had he been a linebacker, he probably would have went to the NFL. He's undersized defensive end, made All-American. Still like to sit there with Achilles heels. He like to outrun the guys. He's an athlete all the way through and through. He's a junior who's had to live up to the name of his daddy. His daddy ain't had no more heart than him. He got his daddy's heart in everything he does. I know him all the way to his grandparents on campus. My wife said not too long ago, she said, I wonder how he would feel about his son going to Leon High. He said, I grandson. He said, I know that he's grinning. So I'll tell you stuff that everybody else don't know, because that's how far back I go with this young man right here. Again, Coach Tyrone McGriff. Welcome to Insights.
Oh, man, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if I have enough to tip you for all the positive stuff you just said, but I appreciate it. And I appreciate you having me on this show.
Oh, no, I owed you all that for all the times we would come and do Florida High games and how you would take care of us over there. Man.
Honestly, you all took care of us. I think, you all doing the live streaming for us allowed us to put our brand on a platform that a lot of other schools didn't have. So I really appreciate you all helping me out during that time, because our parents loved it. So we appreciate you.
Tyrone, us doing that, Florida High was the first to let us come in, and always a visionary. My children, all three of them started at Florida High, and started over there when the campus was on the Florida State University campus, and then got moved out to Southwood. So we always had a special indebtedness to Florida State because it was always a visionary school. So we appreciate that. Coach, I know the question that everybody want to know, how did you end up deciding that you wanted to coach again and get back in this?
I think the Tallahassee Democrat and Jim Henry and everybody summed it up just right. And coaching is in my blood. It's a part of who I am, mainly because I like helping kids. I like molding the future. Can you all hear me just fine? I didn't do a mic check. Can you hear me fine?
You didn't do one. You were great.
Okay. So I love helping people, not just kids, but helping people. And I felt like it was time for me to expand my reach and then get some influence from other people as well. So I felt like it was a good fit. And I can get in the community, help kids at Leon, help kids within Leon County, and then do more stuff within our Tallahassee community.
Okay, Coach, that's a real nice political answer,
No, that's the
That's
truth.
what, I
That's
didn't
the
say it
truth.
wasn't. I didn't say it wasn't the truth, but inside your gut, what was it about football that just pulled at you? Because football is an emotional game, and
Uh,
you know, what was it, as a former coach, it's always something kind of gnawing in your gut. You know, we try to act like we good not doing it, but
uh,
then it's parts of it that's when you're not doing it, it just kind of eats at you. And I'm speaking for myself. Coaching is seasonal. I mean, like, you have a downtime when the season's over, you just exhausted. Then after about 4 or 5 weeks, you start to ramp it up. You get around the kids, and you got time that you start doing evaluations, and you start getting ready for the upcoming season. And then the season's here, and you just mind locked on one task. And when anything else, there's nothing else you do that takes you there. That's what you had as a player. And when you're not playing, it's an adjustment. And the next best thing to playing is coaching. So I'm probably answering it or giving you an, but you your own man, as I just said. You kind of legacy leader. Tell us
now,
about
when
it.
you're talking, now if you're talking about between the lines and that itch, that's something totally different. To tell you the truth, a lot of people don't realize this because I'm usually low key and mild mannered. Don't really say much until you ask me a question. Then you can't get me to shut up. But one thing that I'm a naturally violent person. And what I mean by that, and I don't mean abusive or anything like that. That's not what
Yeah,
I mean.
I knew exactly what you meant. I've seen you.
Yeah, I'm a naturally violent person, and I like collisions, and I like to hear them. I appreciate that, right? You have to appreciate the art, right? You have to really appreciate that. You have to appreciate hearing that special click, because the pads make a special sound when you hear that. It's a special sound, and you feel it. It's completely different than any other sport, right? So you never get away from that. You appreciate that, and to tell you the truth, I feel like I can create that with a bunch of kids at Leon. That's going to be special. And like I said, the true measure of a leader is his ability to grow someone else, right? And I want to produce one of the most aggressive teams in Tallahassee. We talk about Madison. Everybody hears about Madison, the legend of Madison aggression, and that's what I want to create. And I want dogs, and I feel like I can train that. I feel like everybody says you can't teach mentality. Well, I was raised in it, so I believe you can. You know, Now everybody may not like it, right? Everybody may not have that appreciation for what that looks like, but I believe you can coach it. And if I believe it, then I need to go show it. And I'm ready to go show it. It's going to take some time, but honestly, I want to create a lot of violent collisions on the field. I appreciate that. I appreciate coaching that. I appreciate telling someone, one thing I used to say, someone said, how do you hit so hard? Right? Because if you ask anybody I played with, I hit hard. I hit hard. Right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
hit hard. And everybody said, how you hit so hard? Like, what do you do? What? And my answer, one of my dad's teammates played for the Steelers. He said, you hit hard, da da da. And I said, that's because I try to run through somebody's soul, right? And not run through somebody's body, run through their soul. Because if you run through their soul, they'll never forget you, right? They'll never forget you. And I felt like when I left a team, when I left a game, if you didn't know that I was on the field, I didn't have a good game. And I feel like at Leon, we can create that. It may take some time. It may take 2-3 years. It may take 4 years. It doesn't matter. But eventually, people are going to fear when we play. And I think that's the most flattering part of playing football, right? Like, everybody likes points. We're going to score points. We're going to do those things. But when you can hear it, when you're in the parking lot and you hear it, it's totally different. And when you're on the field, and I don't know if my players ever got this feeling before, but it's totally different. I remember being in the Atlanta Classic, and I ran down on punt team. And no, actually, it was kickoff team. At that time, you could create the wedge, and we can't create the wedge now. But I had that kamikaze type spirit, right? And I was seeking it, and I ran down, and they had their big tight ends and some mobile bow, defensive lineman setting the wedge, and I was like, I'm just gonna go through there. And I could hear, I didn't make the tackle, but I could hear the stands react because it looked like a bomb went through the wedge, right? And I came to the sideline, and my coach, Herbert Moore, we call him Coach Nasty, he looked at me, he said, "Boy, you're crazy." And I smiled, and when I smiled, I had a mouthful of red because I had split my lip from this side all the way across. And of course, I couldn't eat ketchup for like a week, but it felt good, you know. And that's I want my players to have that same appreciation for that because people will remember you when you play football that way.
That's what I remember about you, Coach. That's really what I remember about you, you know.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, you know, and in my mind, there's two teams like that in the area: Madison County and Brooks County. And Brooks coached by fellow Rattler, Maurice Freeman Foot, and his thing is with the hammer. And even now, as the All-Star games come in Thomasville and Valdosta, all the coaches can identify the Brooks County kids by the way they hit you. They're all small, and when they hit you, they deplete you. They hit you like you're saying. It's almost like y'all came from the same school. And so I'm saying, if Leon has this vision with you as this coach, I think that's part of getting Leon back. Because Leon was the school to go to one time for football.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, I'll be honest with you. Then this is the competitor in me. So, and I hope a lot of people from Leon County see this. I want our kids back. Our kids aren't going to Leon like they should be, and I want them back. You know, I think my resume speaks for itself, right? I've been successful in everything I've done. My granddad told me kill a mosquito with an axe and don't ask for any pity and don't give any pity, right? And that's the type of mentality we're going to have. Now, I'm going to put my work in late at night and doing all those things that, you know, I think everybody's seeing that we were present on social media. We're going to, my coaches already understand because I've been blowing them up every day. My kids understand. I've contacted most of the seniors. I still have a couple more that I need to contact, Elijah Nash and a few more. I'm going to work and I'm going to do those things, but we're going to kill a mosquito with the axe. And it may not be this year, it may not be next year, but understand that we are coming, right? And I'm going to say that in all honesty, we're coming. And I don't care how long it takes. As long as Leon has patience with me and understand that I have a vision for the program and I am a worker. I've been successful in everything that I've done. It doesn't mean I haven't had downfalls. It doesn't mean I haven't had setbacks, but I'm coming. And I want the kids in Leon County to understand that we're coming.
Now, what does that mean, you coming, Coach?
Well, there's a long process to that, right? It's like going to California. You get in that car, you're driving to California, you get in that car, it's going to take you forever to get there, but you're going. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it's a respect for the process. It may not be this year. It may not be next year. We may wear our bumps and bruises and all those things like that. But there's a process that's going to go along with getting there. In the weight room, we're coming, right? We're going to take it each day, step by step. We're going to be incrementally better every day. My coaches already got their 16-week workout plan. We're going to do the small things and get better. And then after the end of those 16 weeks, we're going to take an off week. We're going to rebuild, get our maxes again, and then go at it again, right? Speed. We're going to create speed. Speed is probably the most difficult thing to create. At Leon, we have a great track coach in Wendell Jones, and I'm going to push our kids out there. I'm from, of course, I'm from a little, I would say Vero, but you know I'm from Gifford.
Thank you.
Right?
I was getting ready to correct that. Okay.
I'm from Gifford, and that's where that mentality comes from, right? You know, those dirt roads and playing sand a lot on the beach or whatever, you know. So we're going to do all those small things to create speed, create a brand that's unique for Leon. And then we're going to create discipline, right? Through my experience as an athletic director and in administration, I understand that academics is a process. It's not just calling the kid to the side and saying how your grades look. I'm going to actually monitor our students. We call that progress monitoring on the academic side, right? I'm going to monitor their FSA scores. I'm going to monitor their ACT and SAT scores. I'm going to make sure that if they don't pass the FSA, which our governor has said that we're going to get rid of, but if they have any type of standardized testing, that if they need concordant scores to graduate, we're going to monitor that. You know, and that's most coaches aren't really involved in that. If they have learning disabilities, I will be looking at their IEPs and 504s because I cannot coach you unless I know you. And a lot of times what coaches do is they say, oh, that player can't get the playbook, right? I've seen it done a whole lot all over the place, right? They can't get the playbook, but then that player may have some type of learning disability. Doesn't mean that they're dumb, doesn't mean that they're stupid. They most likely, to tell you the truth, they have a gifted mind, but you have to figure out how to reach them. We're going to monitor all that because that's how we're going to coach, and we're going to coach all the fine details. I'm going to go all the way down, and my kids can tell you, I teach them how to tie their shoes, right? And I have a trick to tying your shoes. We're going to do all the small things right. And like I said, it may take 4 years, it may take 5 years. A lot of times people are looking at the success of Florida High, but they don't realize that Coach Hickman's been there for over 20 years. It's a process. So we're going to, like I said, it may take a long time, but we're coming.
Fire and Ice Creation said, good luck at Leon, Coach.
Thank you.
If any of you have any questions that you'd like us to ask Coach McGriff, send them to us and we'll ask him. You know, but Coach, you almost beat me to my next question, and that was some of the things that you've learned administratively that you're going to bring over to the coach's role, because it's difference understanding from both sides. Sometimes as coaches, we get just kind of tunnel vision on the coaching end of it and just want to coach. But your diverse experiences should lend you to be able to see outside of just the gridiron in terms of what you need to do. And I heard you with the academic component and what you're going to do. Tell me what you learned from the administrative side that's going to be important to you doing what you're doing.
Organization. You know, and to tell you the truth, it's not just administrators. So I had some great coaches that I had a chance to work with at Florida High, with Coach Jared Hickman and Charlie Ward and Sheila Roberts and so many others, John Hollenbeck. I've learned a lot through athletic administration and then academic administration, working with Miss Megan Brink, Todd McNeil, Ryan Kappas, and Jennifer Kinney, and Kevin Helms. Each Friday we had academic meetings over progress monitoring, high school progress monitoring, which looks slightly different from your elementary progress monitoring. Elementary progress monitoring has a lot to do with interim assessments, and the students are taking, you know, iReady or STAR or whatever platform they're using for their assessment throughout the year to make sure that they're hitting those marks. High school is a little bit different. We're looking at, are you hitting graduation requirements? You know, if you have a DRF out in the class before you get there, your tardies, attendance, all those things like that. Understanding that focus, student information system, right? Understanding how to pull reports from that makes it a little bit more convenient to monitor our students. So that's the part that I picked up from administration that I think I would say most coaches don't have that in their back pocket to understand those systems and then to be able to ask for that information. That's I think that's going to help me establish some great students at Leon.
Somebody, Sports Diva, comment was, wow, Coach McGriff has a great great vision for Leon. Thanks, Sports Diva. That's one of our regulars. They comment all the time through our show, usually picking at the reporter, Rick Brown.
Now I do want to make sure that I acknowledge, you know, I think I have a very lively personality once I really start opening up, right? And sometimes I worry about perception, and I want to make sure that if people understand that I'm not fixing a broken issue, right? Leon is Leon. Leon is the oldest school in the state. Leon has the largest alumni base in the county. Leon is one of the most storied programs in the state. I'm not fixing something that is broken. right? It's not a car that's broken down that's not running. We just have to do some tweaking, change out the engine a little bit, make it run in the way that I feel like it should be running. I think Coach Jan did an awesome job of establishing a baseline program in terms of what the kids need to get to where they're going. Right. We have some great coaches in Coach Grimes, and a few others that I know I'm going to forget, so please forgive me. But I'm not coming in and saying, hey, this program is that's not what I'm doing. They've done a great job, and then Coach Jan, of course, him being a legacy player, Leon, and being one of the greats at quarterback there. When we have so many, Leon has a great tradition at quarterback that I don't know, a lot of people will probably miss that, but all the Leon County schools have a great tradition. But for me, it's about running our system and getting the kids to buy into that. So I want to make sure that I spoke about that, because a lot of times people may say, "Man, who does this guy think he is?" Like, no, I want to leave it better than what I found it.
Well, I know one thing that at Leon has a very strong alumni. I mean, they have some very strong, influential alumni who are very, very concerned about the school. And the school itself likes legacy staff. An athletic director like Coach Feely, whose dad was a highly successful football coach. You and your background and your principal his dad was a principal. I mean, you just kind of like those legacy type activities, because that's that legacy leader that just kind of raised a little bit differently in terms of being raised to assume and take over to do those things. Coach Rick, I see it's something in your mind there you want to ask. I see you rubbing your beard.
Yeah, Coach Ty, first of all, again, thanks for joining us. Couple of questions. One, when did you get that itch, that urge that you wanted to run your own program? And secondly, you said it's not broken there, but Leon hasn't won two winning seasons in the last 13 years. Why are you the man to change that?
Oh man, okay, so when I get that itch, and the itch is always there. Like Coach Clayton said, that if you're an athlete, that's like telling a basketball player, but when the basketball player retires, do you ever really retire? It's like you walking past a basketball and not taking that shot, right? Like, are you not going to say, hey, let me show you how to? I bet you right now, if I go in the gym and shoot, Coach Clayton's going to try to teach me how to shoot. Am I right, Coach?
You're absolutely right.
Right. So that itch doesn't leave you. You go on and pursue different things, and like I stated, I learned a lot in administration, and it's helped me to get a role like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I didn't have that administrative background, I don't know if this role would have been afforded to me, right? So I'm blessed to have that background.
Tyrone, stop. What did the missus say when?
Hey,
we all know that there's another story that when you make a decision like that.
All right, so that's
you don't have to answer it. I can understand if you don't want to.
No, she's been great in my corner. She understands my personality. I am working on my 3rd degree right now, so she understands. Like I'm a all in type of. She says I have OCD. I'm compulsive, and for those of you that are not familiar with OCD, people think that it's hey, you just focus on one thing. No, it's whatever you focus on, you go all in on, right? So that's what I do. I try to go all in on whatever I'm attached to, and sometimes that means, and she gets so mad at me because I text her at 5 o'clock, say, hey, I'm about to walk out the office, and then it's 8 o'clock before I'm actually walking out. So she said, oh man, I'm never gonna see you. So I'm gonna try to do a better job balancing that. Of course, I have 2 young ones at the house, so I have to do a better job balancing.
Good luck with that, yeah. Hey, you're getting a lot of comments from your viewers. Dr. Chiquita Miller, former Rattler basketball player, she might have been there when you were there. She said, Coach McGriff, trust in your abilities and coach only like you can. Surround yourself with like-minded, positive people. Pray and assemble the team and environment you desire. That's another one of our regulars there. Former
Yes.
Rattler, Chiquita Miller, one of the stars on our basketball team.
Yes.
Then
Thank
Desmond,
you.
he said, you have all the tools in building the legacy you want Leon to see. Build it and they will come. Keep progressing, Buck. lot of positive comments, Coach, coming from our viewers towards you. A lot of love, a lot of encouragement for you and for your success in building men at Leon.
Thank you.
I'd like you to share something. Share what you had on social media about building your program and being men. And you had I need to be able to pull it up. You had something on social media about 2 days ago.
Social media tips for social media.
Was that it? That might have been it. I got so many people sent it to me. They were like, this is really special what he has here. This is really, really special. And I said, that would be Tyrone. You remember what I'm talking about? Oh, here it is. Social media tips. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, most of the kids nowadays, they don't realize that social media can kill you before you get started, right? And I would tell you this, some of my players don't realize that, I'm big on social media, right? And that's because social media is free marketing. And I think people need to realize that. It is free marketing, and you're going as you want people to see you. And our kids sometimes don't realize that. So when they're posting, like we have, people shooting the bird. Why are you shooting the bird on social media? Right? Yes, sir. That's it. So those little small things like that. If you want to see the post, you can go to Leon Lines football social media page, Twitter page, or Facebook, or my Facebook page, and you can see that post. But the social media stuff is really something that leaves a first impression. We have players shooting the bird, and I messaged them like, "Hey, you need to take this down." I haven't met them yet, and I was like, "You need to take this down," because that's not how we're going to represent the program. I want aggressive kids, but I don't want kids to depict themselves in that way. Right? Because shooting a bird really doesn't do anything. All it does is sell you in a light that you don't want to be sold in. So that's the first step that I feel like needs to be established, of making sure that our kids understand that we're going to be who we want others to view us as. We want to be athletes. We're going to sell ourselves as athletes. That means from everything, from the way we wake up in the morning. This is that Vertia Rollins coming out of me, to the way we go to bed, right? To what we eat, what we put in our body. Another person that I learned a lot through observation, is Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward is a great friend, great family member, just overall great person. And he really showed me you can stand up on your convictions, on your morals, and stand by that, and everything else will fall into place. I have a great pastor in Irvin Montgomery who's done a great job of leading me and mentoring me as a person, and allowing me to grow and allowing me to develop into a man. And that's what I want to do for other young men. Iron sharpens iron. I didn't get here from hanging around people that were tarnishing my image, right? I hung around people that were going to uplift me, and people that were going to make me smarter, people that were going to make me more aware. So it's my obligation to do the same thing for our kids. So that's what we're going to do.
David Laws Jr. said, That's a great answer, Coach. I didn't want to overlook that.
No,
But David Laws Jr. said, congratulations, Coach. Gerald Powell said, Coach Ty, what do you say to a parent with a talented child who is thinking about transferring?
What do I say?
Mm-hmm.
Google me. Google me. I don't have to say, like, honestly, Google me. I, I've been a success my whole life. You know, um, and the people around me won't let me fail. They're going to pull me aside and they're going to tell me, "Hey, you need to do this right. You need to do this a little bit better." I'm going to put great coaches around me. It's not, a part of being a winner is putting winners around you. All right, and I can't wait to announce I'm waiting to hear back from some coaches. I'm waiting to meet with some coaches that are going to add to my knowledge, and that's how we're going to win. It's not just me. It's not a one man army. It's getting the right people around you. So I'm going to do that. I did that as an AD. I'm going to do that as a head coach, and we're going to work. So I would say my track record speaks for itself, and we're going to get better. Um, I would say, to tell you the truth, there's nobody that's going to look out for your kids the way I am because I have that background knowledge in those other areas. And I'm not saying that other people don't care as much as I do, because all coaches care. But I don't know too many coaches in town that have that background knowledge in terms of the academic success part.
Good answer. And somebody made the comment that was a good question to ask you. Coach, we're getting a lot of support from the Leon County family in terms of comments and what they want to know. And that's only because of you and who you are and going to Leon.
Yes.
Insights is always here available for you as we have been along the way. We may be able to even do something that we've never done with anybody else, and that's to kind of come in and show an inside look of what's going on at Leon all the way through practice one day a week or something.
That'd be great.
And anything to help publicize what you're doing. And somebody said, Gerald Powell, who asked the question about a kid transferring, said, "Good deal." He said, "I have Googled you." Coach McGriff, Buck, as you were on the yard, we appreciate you. We know your lineage, and like you started to say, I could say I'm from Vero Beach, but you already know I'm from Gifford. So, and it's a little special being from Gifford.
It's different. It's different. A lot of people don't realize that. Gifford is Gifford, man. It's different. You appreciate it. You gain a lot of toughness there, right? There's some of the best athletes in the state of Florida come from that. It's less than a mile stretch, and you're gonna find some phenomenal athletes coming out of Gifford, and it's just a hidden talent bed. We had Coach Wilson, who that old school approach. Coach Wilson did stuff that new school coaches can't do, right? Like Coach Wilson,
I know that's right.
Man, Coach Wilson. Let me tell you, Coach Wilson punched me in my chest so many times. That's why I'm strong now. I had to build my chest up, But you can't do that now. But you can love on him the same way Coach Wilson did, and Coach Wilson loved on me. He loved on my dad. He was my dad's coach. He was my coach, and he walked me out on my college senior night. He was very special to me, and that's what you get in those small communities like that, right? You get that love because you can't go home and tell your mom or dad that the coach punched you in your chest, because you may get punched in your chest again because they already know that coach was probably telling you something that you need to hear. So that's what Gifford is, man. And we're a different breed. We're tough, we're fast, we're agile, and I'm glad to rep Gifford.
And that you have done, and we appreciate you taking your time and this much time with us on our show here today. I think that a lot of people have gotten a much better insight into you, because on this form, on this media, we're not really constricted to 2 or 3 minutes. You can answer a question. It's unedited. People see and hear your responses. They get a chance to see you, and you get a chance to expound on it. So we're really pleased to have you here, and we appreciate you taking the time to be a part of our show. You're welcome at any time, Coach.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I did want to answer Mr. Brown's question. He said, why me? I can't really answer that question. I think God has to answer that question. Right? God placed me in certain situations at the right time, at the right moment. And I've been able to capitalize on it based off of what he saw fit. And like I said, I wouldn't have had this opportunity if I didn't have that history in administration. And it's not about me. I know that I'm here for a reason, and I can't really answer that. So that's something that God would have to answer. So maybe I hope that lets people understand that. I think that certain people have been placed in my life my whole life for specific reasons. It's too much stuff that's happened in my life that I can't really explain to sit up here and act like it's all me. I will say I believe that God has touched my life in a positive way.
Amen.
And you
You answered
continue
it, Coach.
to touch others in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate that. That would be Tyrone McGriff, y'all. And we appreciate you being here, Coach, and much love to you. Tell the missus we said hello.
I will.
We will see you in those colors we like, that red and black. That INSiiGHTS colors too.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Coach.
You all have a great one.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Man, high school sports is changing so much. I mean, we got new coaches coming in football. Basketball season's in the middle of doing a lot of things. We've actually covered 5 different high school games that are up there on our INSiiGHTS YouTube page. And 2 that just went up very recently from the Capital City Classic. The most watched game we have up there is Godby and North Florida Christian Girls. Those are the numbers. They show that they have had more people come to see, go up and watch their game than the FAMU High and Gadsden game. We got Florida High up there. We got Godby. We got some good games that are up there. So if you have some time on your hand and you want to be entertained, go up there and see some of the high school games play. Make sure you subscribe to us and follow us. That way you don't miss a game. You don't miss an interview. You're able to see them. So you won't know what's going on unless you hit down on that button and subscribe. Hit that like button and subscribe. David Laws Jr. says, see you when we come back from break, Coach. Happy holidays everyone. David, we appreciate you. David, Gerald, y'all make sure y'all go down there and click like for us. Subscribe to us. We tell people all the time, they wonder why we cover this school, why we don't cover that school. We cover the school that people like to see. And those schools and programs, they support us. Now, one of the things that we do, we always, in all of our games, we recognize the students who have good grades. And our Woodard Award winners, we always recognize them from each game in terms of how
the Dr. Arthur Woodard Academic Student of the Week Award is sponsored by the Woodard Foundation from Miami, Florida. The school selects the high school student with the highest grade point average along with their community service involvement and leadership. The Woodard Foundation is proud to be a part of the recognition given to these outstanding high school students who exemplify what Dr. Woodard stood for. Dr. Woodard would tip his hat to the winners and proudly say congratulations. Good luck the rest of the way and keep up those grades.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Walt McNeil. I want to thank all the Arthur Woodard Academy student game winners. You guys have done a great job this year, great success, and I can't tell you how much we here in the Leon County Sheriff's Office appreciate the great job you've done. Keep it up, continue to be the winners that you are, and lead by example. Take care, God bless. And as we said in the Leon County Sheriff's Office, all in.
Tell us a little bit about your academic award student. Tell us a little bit about him.
Rashard White is the one that is the academic person right now, well over a 3.3, and they all understand what our rigor of academics means. He came to me and he said, "Coach, my Spanish grade is not looking to where it needs to be, and I don't want it to drop my GPA. What do I have to do? Who do I have to get in contact with? How can I get in contact with the teacher? Because, Coach, I know I did the work." So Rashard White is leading the path for our younger ones and understanding that a 3.0 and higher is what we're aiming for as a team, GPA of a 3.0, and he's leading the way at a 3.34 unweighted GPA. So he understands if I get anything less than a B, Coach is going to have us.
We're trying to do with our academic award winners, which you know that's really important to all of us.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about, introduce her to the audience for us, please.
Lady, she's our senior guard, our defensive specialist, Nakara Hayes, aka Poker Face. I've called her Poker Face since her 9th grade year because no matter what happens, she does have that attitude like a duck. We're gonna let the water roll off our backs. She is immovable, but the greatest thing about her is, as strong as she is on the court, she has a 4.1 GPA. She leads our team with the highest GPA and is consistently working in study hall, showing the girls, what it means to be a student and all caps athlete. Second, and so not only that, but she's working on her CNA, her Certified Nurses Assistant certification, to be completed once she graduates from Godby High School. So I'm super proud of her. She's also a part of the volleyball team and the flag football team. So when we talk about preaching and giving the speech about being a holistic young lady, Coach, I don't think you can define that any better than that as Senior Nakara Hayes.
Blaze Wallace, who is our junior, who's a 4-year varsity player, tremendous student, also, hard worker on the court, has interest from several universities now for his athletics and his academics. And, he's, like you say, he's a great student in the classroom, and loves and likes going to school. And so that's a great quality that Blaze has, and I think it translates to his ability to adjust on the basketball court.
We appreciate the support, everybody. We'll probably be at Thomasville tomorrow. We'll get our first chance to ever do with Thomasville girls at a tournament they have. They'll be playing tomorrow against the Albany Monroe at 7 o'clock. And then at 9:30, Childs will be over and play the boys at Thomasville at 9:30. So we got a game at 7, one at 9:30. Those are the two games that we have coming up. We're trying to still do as many basketball games now as we can before COVID makes us stop, which might be any day now.
Hey, before we go, Coach, it has been a trying year for a lot of us. And I didn't want to end this year without thanking you and our producer and everyone who watches us. Because of y'all, this happens. And so one thing I do want to say is that even though we've come through a lot, we're still here. And prayerfully, we'll be here next year and we'll just keep on rolling. So no matter what, just thank you and keep your head up and keep doing what you do.
Those words are appreciated, Rick. Something we saw in you, I don't know what it was, all the way back when you had those jump shots you couldn't make, but you could go to the hole on somebody. You could take them pretty quick. You better
go to the hole.
Don't get too close to him because he'll go by you and explode in the rim and then turn around and got that DC look at you and start talking shit. That's what he would do. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you. Everybody hang with us as we close out 2021. When we come back in 2022, look for INSiiGHTS rebranded. INSiiGHTS rebranded. Hey, we coming back at you. We appreciate all of y'all being with us. Much love to you. Mask up. Social distance. It's Omicron. got a mind of its own. It could be walking right next to you.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSiiGHTS.
INSiiGHTS is the copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representation.
Sports Diva, Chiquita Miller. Happy New Year to y'all and everybody else. We appreciate y'all. Much love, peace, happiness, and soul. Good night.